Welcome back to another episode of Cappuccino Chat. This time we're talking lighting. This time we're talking lighting. This is part 4 of our series on video marketing, and as you can see, my set looks a little bit brighter. In looking at my camera settings, to be fair, it wasn't a complete lighting issue that I had. I had some settings I needed to make on my camera, so left over from last video. Make sure all your settings are set correctly to get the proper exposure and things of that nature on your camera when you are doing this. So as you can see, my set looks a little brighter and a little different. Now, to be fair on lighting, I don't like what I went with. I wish I would have made some other choices. I was doing some research, looking at some different stuff. LED is definitely the way to go, but it's different. So I went with these. I'll try to put a picture of them up on the video here while we're talking, but I went with some LED panels. Now these are great, came with stands. I can move them around. So when I was initially doing some like interviews, when some of the earlier videos you see me talking to the guys here in the office and we're talking about technology, they were great because I could position them all and move them around and do different stuff. Since then, as I showed in a previous video, I've kind of mounted them to my desk. And in mounting them to my desk, I noticed the brightness just wasn't where I wanted it with the background kind of set up nice. Now, in all fairness, now that could have been a setting on my camera that I did just fine. So I may find that this is actually better now that I'm doing it this way with my lighting. But one thing I did do was I made one of my lighting sources bigger. The bigger the light source you can have, kind of the softer the light will be. So you want kind of a soft light hitting you. You don't want a big harsh light like when you're out in sunlight and that kind of stuff. So bigger the light, the better. You also want to make sure you have enough light because you don't want those dark shadows on one side unless that's kind of what you're going for. In some of those mood movies, if you will, you'll kind of see that light coming in on one side and the other side of their face is all dark. That is if that's the look you're going for, that's fine. So what I ended up doing is I got a larger piece to put up on one of my lights there to basically make the light bigger. So I've also positioned some of my color LEDs differently. I got a color LED strip down here, picked up from Home Depot, really easy, kind of bright, throws off some good lighting in the background. I kind of like that look now in the back. And then I've got these Aperture MCs. These are, don't want to do too bright, battery powered, and you can control the color that you put on each of them. So each of them can be controlled with a different RGB color spectrum. So you can, and then it's got this little soft box on it. So again, you can adjust those colors as you need. Kind of nice thing, it's got magnets so you can kind of stick them up in things. I know Caleb Pike from DSL Video Shooters, when I see it, he likes to sit them up inside lamps, like desk lamps, to kind of give it a fake glow. So you set that up in there with no light bulb in it, and this becomes your light bulb. It's kind of a neat idea. So you can really play with these and throw these all over your office to make those, give your background or your office just a little bit different of a glow and a little bit different of a look. So lighting is one of the other more important pieces to what you're doing here. So you want to make sure that you've got good lighting. You don't want to use your fluorescent tubes if you can't. If you're near a window in an open office and you can get some good sunlight, that's awesome if you can do that. The only thing you got to be worried about is, depending on how long you're recording for, you know the sun is going to shift, so you'll start to get shadows, or the sun will go down, or sunrise, those kinds of things. So typically you want to either use, if you can take advantage of that, make sure you get your hours right when you're doing your video recording, or supplement that with some of the video lights. So I've got it set to 5600 Kelvin. It's kind of more of that soft light. So you want to get adjustable lights. Now, there's a couple of lights now out that I wish I would have been out when I did this, or I would have made some different choices. So the first one is by Elgato. They have some key lights. They come with stands that you can kind of mount to your desk or put on a hard base that you can again set on your desk, and they go up and down. They're controllable via an app on your phone, so it makes it real nice. I'll put a link and a screenshot on those onto this video as well for you. Those would be a good option. Now, I got to warn you, lighting can be kind of expensive. I also, with these LED panels that I went with, I got a good deal on Amazon. I got 3 of them, and I want to say with the stands and everything, I probably spent 350 bucks on them. So that's really low for lighting. Some of the other ones are by a company called Godox. Now they're making more and more lightweight, large lights. And what I mean by large is the softbox that you put on it, so you don't get that bright light. It does give you that big dispersion of light. Another trick a lot of people have used is actually putting up bed sheets. So you know those big white bed sheets that you've got, you can actually throw those up, and then you put a bright light behind the bed sheet if you can, and depending on how you're set up and where you're filming, if you can do that, put a bunch of bright light behind there and that bed sheet, it will actually disperse and give you that nice soft glow light. So that's another thing to give a try. So there's some lights from Godox. I'll put that up on this video as well with a link to their website in the body of the description of the video here. I'll see if I can even put it up on the screen during this video for you. They make a couple really nice ones, and that softbox that you get, which is this attachment to the light, the bigger you can get, the softer the light will seem. So again, depending upon in your office or where you're filming, again, if you can set up and you have room for these lights, you'll see professionals using these bigger lights. It doesn't mean they're getting brighter light. It just means they're getting softer, more appropriate lighting for the shot they're taking. So lighting is very important. I wanted to make sure, again, it was something with my desk that goes up and down. I could mount it to my desk. Those Godox lights before, they had bigger lights from different people. It was just too big to have on my desk. Now, with Godox making some smaller and lighter, more importantly, lighter lights, you can do the same thing on the poles like I have on my desk, which we'll get into again in another video here when we talk about setting some stuff up. But you'll be able to mount those up and not have it be too heavy and the light flopping all over the place for you. That would be bad. So again, the bigger the light, the better. And I will show a picture of my desk setup here just so you guys can see what I had to do in order to get this softer light going for the video. So use a bigger light source. You're going to want to use lights kind of at a 45 up and away from you. I've got glasses, so a lot of times people use like ring lights. You'll see those around the lens of your camera, so you'll actually stick the lens through the ring light. The problem with that is it gives a glare off of glasses. So if you're wearing glasses, guys, you're gonna have to put a light kind of up, and so you'll see the glare as I look up. You see the light that's coming through now. You can kind of see that. And if you look over here, there's my other one. So I've got a brighter light here. This is my key light. And then I've got a fill light over here at a lower setting. It's another thing I wish I would have been able to do is just adjust those a little bit more finely. I can only go by 10% increments on the ones that I have. So anything you can adjust in 1% increments, you'll be amazed, makes a huge difference in your lighting. A lot of people use a hair light to kind of offset you from the background. I'm using, again, the LEDs in the background, RGB lights, different colors. Those are nice. Again, you can change the color depending on what you're doing. I can move them around. I can attach them to things that are magnetic. It was kind of nice. But lighting, kind of take some time with your lighting, setting things up, doing some different fill lights. Make your background interesting. Don't want it too overpowering. And just make sure you got some good lighting. So hopefully you guys like the new look. I kind of disappointed myself. I didn't find that setting in the camera sooner, but this is going to be my new look to the camera, so I'm not so dark and faded. That look on my camera was meant for me to do more color grading on it in post-production, which I am not doing yet at this point. So I want to get the best look I can right out of it. Again, as always, please reach out to me if you've got any questions at any part of this series so far.